So, interesting problem today. These paper towels, I usually just place them here, but I actually realized that I want to use this paper towel holder, which would be great, except it doesn't fit. So I'm gonna do something yana and see if I can get it to fit. Yeah, let's make something nice. So today's project was fairly simple. The first thing I did is that I have this leftover piece of quartz from one of the kitchens that was being done, and I decided, I can cut a nice base from it. There's a part that has patterns, so I selected that part as essentially the base, and I drew out the circle based off of the old holder that I used, just to get the same diameter. And I used the outer circle as the base, and then the inner circle as sort of the bevel line. Think of it as just where the curve is going to be. And yeah, so I used the inner circle. I drew two circles from that, an outer and inner circles, and you'll see why later. And once I did that, I then started cutting off all the excess and just to make sure that I have the circle piece. So I cut that out, tried to shape it a bit here and there, but eventually, I got it as close to the line as possible. And once I did that, it was on to the next step, which was then shaping it and giving it the necessary curves around, the places where it needs to have curves. So I did that and shaped it nicely. Once I was done with that and looking all dusty and if I hadn't worn protection here, problems. Anyway, I did that. Then I started sanding it. No, not sanding. So after I shaped it, so I gave it so the inner circle that I drew was actually the bevel point, and then the outer circle stayed as the base. So it gets a sort of like a rounded off edge, tapering edge, and just to give it a little more sexiness, just not just one monolithic, give it some character here. And once that was done and was a nice circle with those edges, then I started polishing it so that it becomes smooth. And I went through, I think with the polishing you get 50, 150, 300, 500, 1000, 3000, and I went through all of those pads polishing it to get it just nice and smooth and looking all professional again. Yeah, and once that was done, I then took the dowel and then cut it to size that was appropriate so that it could fit in here even with that base. And it was fairly quick. I used the hand saw for this, just chopped it up and tried to keep it as straight, to avoid any corrections that I needed to make. And once that was done, I then drew a few lines on the disc just so that I can get the center point of the disc, so that I can then drill a hole through that, because I'm joining these things using a screw and I need to drill a hole through that. And then because I needed to countersink the screw on the bottom of the disc so that it doesn't wobble once it's connected and the screw is protruding. So countersunk that, then use that to then drill a hole through the wooden pieces, or just a pilot hole or pre-drilling, whatever you want to call it, just so that the screw doesn't go left, go right. It goes straight into the hole and is tight on the hole. That doesn't sound anyway. Yes, that's what I did. And once that was done, it was essentially done. It was a quick project. Started it earlier today, and yeah, now it's done. And so and once I was done with that, what I then did, I just took the screwed it through the base, and then once it was out there, then I then started screwing it through the dowel, and then once it was connected, it was done. It was a fairly easy project. You don't have to use quartz for this. You can use wooden bases. I know hardware stores do sell wooden discs. You can do this yourself if you don't like what's. I didn't want to buy a new one because I already had that one. Also, even if I did want to buy a new one, I don't think I would have found one in the style that I wanted. So why not make it? Because I like nice things, eh? Anyway, so now the project is done and I can safely use the new paper towel holder and fit it in there. Would you look at that? Problem solved. No problem anymore. So I don't quite know what I'm gonna do with this, but yeah. So for more DIY videos like this, have a look at one of the two videos that are appearing on your screen. And yeah, see you on the next one.